So, it is now 2022. New Year just happened. So, you're seeing all over the place the New Year, New Me moniker that happens every year. People think that there's some magic in this new year. So once the ball drops, all of your problems are just going to melt away. Anything that you want to get done will get done this year, probably without any extra effort, and everything's going to be all golden and hunky-dory. Well, you know that by the title of this that I think that is total bullshit. So if you're the type of person that's going to wait for some magical instance, magical time period to get done or change the actions that you actually want to get changed, then those actions or those things that you actually want to get done probably won't ever happen in the first place, okay? Because you're not somebody who has that initiation and drive just to get them done anyways. Again, probably tough to hear that, but hopefully that awareness is what will help stimulate you to actually get your goals or get what you want to be done, or get done what you want to get done. Because, you know, we hear people all the time, again, especially when it comes to working out, I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start this brand new, diet Monday, okay? Monday or tomorrow, Monday rolls around and maybe they do get started, but they didn't actually take the actions that need to be taken to make it a more permanent solution, okay? Goals really get done and achieved through long-term, consistently chipping away at them little by little, and actually making concrete behavioral changes that'll actually lead you towards those goals, as opposed to just kind of all of a sudden it happening as if by magic, okay? So really what I'm going to go over today, I find is kind of interesting. It's an ability for you to actually, again, bring some more awareness to your behaviors, and if you actually have a behavior that you want to change or behavior that you want to start, what that process actually looks like for you to kind of get that process going, okay? So, handy dandy whiteboard here. I'm going to start drawing on, so give me a second. In order to change your behavior, there's kind of three parts to it, okay? So, So there's the trigger that kind of stimulates you or prompts you to take on or to start going into a specific action, okay? And then because of that action, you get a reward for participating in that action, in that behavior, okay? So the trigger can be anything that, prompts you to take a specific action. So you're driving to work, and that drive to work is the trigger. The action is always stopping at Starbucks on the way to work, because the trigger is you drive to work. The action is you stopping at Starbucks, and then the reward is you actually getting your coffee that you really, really want at Starbucks. Okay? Something like that. It could be something that that is pretty harmless, but something that might not be so great is like you're watching TV, that's the trigger. So that trigger of you sitting down and watching TV prompts you to snack too much. So you got potato chips in the bag, and I love potato chips just like everybody else. I'm human, don't you worry about that. At least I think I am. Might be part alien, human alien, monkey hybrid. I have no idea. Still trying to figure that out. Anyways, sit down watching TV, trigger. Action, snacking too much. Reward, feelings of satisfied in the taste of said snack. Okay, sounds great, right? However, if you participate in that trigger too often, or unconsciously participate in that trigger, you might be partaking in actions that you don't actually want to be, and then that reward just kind of happens because of that action. Okay, so to give a very concrete example of actually something that I'm trying to change right now. Now, this might be a little bit too much information, but those of you who guys know me, I'm sure you'll be able to get past it. So, one thing that I'm actually trying to fix, and now this is not a New Year's resolution. Again, I did not specifically wait for New Year's, although it was closely correlated. I actually started a couple days before, and that was just because I learned about this stuff a couple days before, okay? And it's not to say that New Year's resolutions are necessarily a bad thing. It's just you actually have to make concrete steps for them to take hold, okay? Most people who start going to the gym in January because this is the year that they finally lose weight, commercial gyms have crazy stats on this that by February, March, like, I don't even know, it's like 60-70% of the new people who signed up in January aren't going anymore. They might still be paying, which works out great for them, but they're not going and actively getting their goals done anymore. So it's like, what's the point, okay? So to get back to my actual concrete example of something that I'm trying to change, okay? And how to actually change it. So something that I want to try to change is in the morning, I'm wasting too much time on my phone, okay? Most of the times that happens on the toilet is when I'm just kind of scrolling through stuff. My brain is only half awake. It's right when I first get up. I'm unconsciously doing this. It's something that I don't even really know that I'm doing. So I'm trying to fix this, okay? So the trigger is walking into the bathroom with my phone, okay? The action is then scrolling or spending too much time on Instagram. The reward is actually a dopamine response of being on Instagram and seeing things, that I like, that I find are funny, that might be entertaining, okay? Dopamine is our main neurotransmitter in our brain that stimulates our reward system. So when you do something good and you think it's an action that you need to repeat, you get a little bit of hit of dopamine, which makes you want to continue performing that action. It's one of the reasons why scrolling down Instagram or TikTok, which I hate, all the, social media, quick platforms like that just make everything so reductionistic and, have to refine things down to a 10-second clip or else you can't pay attention to it anymore. Sorry, a little bit of rant, but I don't like that. But one of the reasons why they're so successful is the people who've created those know how to stimulate that dopamine reward pathway so that every time you look through things, every time you get a little like on something, you like it, you get that little hit of dopamine, so it makes you want to continue to perform said action, okay? So the actual reward in this case of me scrolling through Instagram is that dopamine response, okay? So what do you have to do to stop this action from happening? What you have to do, there goes the cat. What you have to do is find this trigger and somehow prevent this trigger from happening so that this action can change, and then you need to provide yourself another reward, hopefully a healthier reward, that actually lets you want to continue to ingrain said action, okay, into your everyday life. So this trigger, for me in this situation, is I'm not going to take my phone into the bathroom. I know, like, people, that sounds like blasphemy. That happens all the time. What are you going to do in there? I'm going to take a book, okay? That's much easier for me to I enjoy it still just as much. I enjoy reading. I'm going to, maybe go in there with a notebook, study something a little bit, but actually it's something that I can also take myself away from way easier, okay? So I'm not even going to walk into the bathroom with my phone because I know if I do that, that's going to prompt the action of scrolling too long, okay? So I replace this trigger. I totally take out this trigger. If I don't have my phone in the bathroom, I don't have the possibility of looking at it and then scrolling too much. So instead, now this trigger is walking in, just going in and starting my day off with a book. That leads to the action of reading instead, and that also kind of leads to that same kind of dopamine reward pathway, but instead now I'm going more towards that motivation and learning something side as opposed to kind of just like that narcissistic that narcissistic troll down social media, okay? It's actually, the book is going to be uplifting and encourage my growth as a person as opposed to just kind of making me feel like crap or whatever from the Instagram post, okay? So I found my trigger, I am changing the trigger, and that's going to lead to a cascade of different effects down, okay? So if you actually want to develop concrete behavioral changes, you need to find what your trigger is And then you should implement a reward system that will encourage you to participate in said action more, so that that feedback loop continues to get stronger. Say you want to read more this year, okay? But you waste a lot of time on your phone, okay? Pick a time period where you want to put in that behavioral change, so you want to read more. Say it's, should be probably before you go to bed at night, okay? Well, that action could just be something really, really simple, like setting a timer. Okay, I want to get more reading done. I'm going to read 10 minutes before I go to bed every night, okay? That actual trigger would then be you setting the timer, 10 minutes. That action that will be taken is reading the book that you want to read, and the reward system is just you going to bed, having an easier time falling asleep right afterwards, okay? Something like that. Yeah. Things like that, simple things like that. Like one of a good example is Max Shank. So he's a fitness coach, strength and conditioning coach. He owns a CrossFit box. I don't know if he still does anymore, but one of the things that he did was 5-minute flow. Okay, and he's really, really great at this. So 5-minute flow, kind of first thing in the morning of you getting up and performing 5 minutes of mobility. Okay, so some sort of mobility routine doesn't necessarily have to be structured. You just kind of moving 5 minutes first thing in the morning. Well, that trigger, again, that's kind of where I got the setting the alarm instance. Trigger is setting the alarm right when you get up, or also waking up can be the trigger. So trigger is waking up or setting the alarm first thing in the morning for the 5-minute flow. The action would then be the 5-minute flow. The reward is a big glass of water at the end, which is one thing that he talks about, because one of the reasons why you're so groggy and stuff in the morning is that you're actually dehydrated. You need that water. You feel better once you take that first glass or two of water in the day. That is your reward for performing the action, that 5-minute mobility action that you actually want, okay? So find what works for you. Find the behaviors that you need to change, or you feel like changing, you want to change now. Figure out the triggers and figure out a healthy reward system for you to actually that actually encourages this implementation of these actions, okay? Don't wait for the new year. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait to start tomorrow. Don't wait to start this weekend, okay? That's just, all of that is just time wasted, okay? All of that is just you continuously to tell yourself that I'm okay where I'm at, I'm comfortable, and I don't really want to get any better until Monday. Then maybe by some magic, I'll have changed my attitude and want to now grow and develop. Take those actions now. Those are my thoughts on that. And New Year's resolutions suck, and I hope you have a good day.